What is up, everyone? Hopefully my audio is okay. Clint, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. How does my audio sound? Are we good?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I can hear you well.
Yeah, awesome. All right, guys, how is everyone doing? Thank you for tuning in. Roy is not here tonight. It is Antonio. Sometimes in the chat I go by Antonio or Unknown Drift Edits. I used to be on the channel a lot, but I was busy this year. But I'm on this live, and I wanted to do something for the day before the big Euro Derby tomorrow. And so, no matter maybe or today, wherever you are in the world, and I wanted to talk about the Real Madrid Man City game and to preview this super, super exciting game tomorrow that I'm sure everyone is nervous or not nervous, but thinking about at least. So we'll see what happens. So Clint is with me. Clint, how are you doing, man? How's everything?
Man, I'm good though. I got off work. Freaking, I'm excited, bro. I'm nervous for tomorrow. I ain't gonna lie. I was saying earlier in the chat, it's been over 15 years the last time I put UCL and Milan in the same phrase in the month of May. So it's been a fucking long, bro. Last time we were in there, I was 15 years old. Last time we made it to the semi and we end up winning it. So it's a long time coming. I don't care about the quality of the squad, but to even be able to still talk about UCL, I think we need to be thankful for. But I'm excited, man. Excited,
Yeah,
excited.
definitely. I agree with what you're saying. I'll give my thoughts a little bit later. I want to first talk about Real versus City, but then we can go on a deep dive on Milan. Before we do that though, I want to say hi to Christian. What's up, Christian? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. I believe I would assume that Roy would be doing one tomorrow. I don't know for sure, but I think he would be doing it. Yeah, I feel like I think he has to do it tomorrow, so I would expect to watch along. What's up, Alexander? Thank you for listening. Appreciate it. I love everyone in the chat, everyone in the community. You guys are great, and so it's great to have an audience. So thanks for staying, and hopefully we have a good discussion. Joel is here. Let's go. We can do this. Forza Milan. Yeah, I agree with this. Although some people like are very confident for some. I don't know. We'll talk about that. Um, Jerry Cardinale should be coming. Tom and Jerry. He should be coming to the game tomorrow, from what I heard. Um, yeah, there were some interesting comments we can talk about actually. Some news, but he will be at the game. I believe I read. Yes, we're gonna talk about this. I have an interesting picture. There's an interesting, very, very interesting game today. And we're gonna go into that first leg of Real versus City, and kind of dissect. I did watch the whole game. I have a lot of free time this week, and so very, very lucky for that. And I was able to watch the game, so I'm excited to break that down. Um, yeah, I know. Like, I want to reflect on this feeling because it's insane. I agree 100% with you. I'm in a similar situation where this is so new, and it's being in this like Clint said, being in playing in the UCL in May, being one of the last four teams in the Champions League. I'm a younger fan. I'm not super super young, but I kind of was mainly raised in the banter era, and so I never really got to experience this. So it's kind of crazy to see us here. Very very stoked. But listen, let's talk about this first game. Clint, did you watch the game today? Do you have a chance to see the game? And if not, I can just start. And you're muted, by the way, in case you want to speak. But if you want to unmute, you can. But I guess I can just talk about what I saw. So yeah, so the game ended 1-1. If we can maybe get a better graphic here, the goals were scored by Kevin De Bruyne. So first it was Vinicius Jr. in the first half. Vinicius Jr. at the 36th minute. So for those who didn't see the game, I would say that it was I thought it was pretty expected, I guess, the possession. So yeah, I think what happened was Manchester City held possession for a good portion of the first half, but Real Madrid was able to, quickly build up, and they have so much quality. They would do these 1-2 passes, get up the field super fast with, especially with Vinicius. Uh, and in the first half, the 36th minute, you saw after not really many super clear chances, maybe like two half chances for City. You saw like a really, really crazy counterattack with Modric. Does a 1-2 with Camavinga. Camavinga then goes, runs up the field, and lays it off to Vinicius Jr., who then goes and scores from outside of the box and puts Real Madrid up 1-0 in the first half. And when I saw that goal, I was going crazy. I can't help but cheer for Real Madrid just because Man City, the media behind them and everything kind of bothers me. And so I was happy for Real Madrid to score that. A lot of people, were saying that Real Madrid had to get a win in this game. And I didn't necessarily agree with that. And I want to talk to you about my opinion about the tie overall, but after maybe a little bit later. But after that Vinny goal, I was excited going to halftime. Second half starts. Real Madrid looks to be like the team that is going to win the game. They have less possession, but they're also not much less possession, and they're able to build up super, super like quickly, and they're clinical. Man City's defense held out for the most part. To be fair, like they had a pretty like they were dropping back at times, but then they slowly got a little bit back into the game, and then even though they didn't have too many amazing chances in the second half, Kevin De Bruyne scored a rocket. Beautiful goal, beautiful strike. Uh, the quality in this game was high. Both goals were really, really top class. And yeah, he that basically scored an unsavable like power shot straight into the corner against Courtois, and Man City basically that was their best chance. They're really their only super, super dangerous chance of the second half, and the game ended 1-1. I would say it's a pretty fair result. Clint, do you have any comments about the game? And then we can go into some chats. I see some legends in the chat, so we can.
Um, yeah, I watched the whole game while I was at work. Yeah, so the game is how I predicted it, to be. I personally felt that Madrid would have won the game, and the same outcome like the display is. I knew City would have had most of the ball, but if we realize for some people that have been paying attention to how City's been playing lately, I think they've been trying to, get on the whole wave of the whole counter attack, less possessive, try to be really direct. And I think you saw a little bit of that today, and I think because they understood, especially in the UCL, and I think what Pep did to give them credit, he played it smart in terms of, I don't think he was looking for perfection, but he was doing tournament football, like the way Ancelotti would do, right? It's not always pretty, get the result, get out of there, right? Instead
Yeah.
of like, oh, we need to get this to the team, which it used to be Pep before, and that's how he used to get beat. So after a while, you have to rearrange. So I'll give credit to them on that. But with Madrid, man, it's just the way they're able to operate under
Yeah.
pressure. It's insane. I was saying in the chat earlier, I'm like, bro, if that was Milan, not no disrespect,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah.
like, if we're not used to that beginning of a game where people, I won't even say your first half, they're literally in your box. Can
Yep.
people like Tomori really think quick and get rid of the ball? Get them out. And I knew the 1-2 transition, I think is something they practice so well in training that they come up. It's purposely done. I don't think it's based on the circumstance, the way they play, and it's like the one touch and they eliminate. I don't think it's based on the circumstance. Oh, we're being dominated, so we don't know what to do. I think they welcome that, and the way they operate with the Camavinga, or the way Vinny moves. Because when you look at when they play teams like that, the PSG, the Chelsea, the Liverpool, whatever you call, it's always in that same fashion that they're able to, score a goal.
Yeah.
The way they move, and it was a good game, man. It was a good game,
Yeah.
bottom line. But that was my whole viewpoint from both sides. It's, I'm not too much of the crazy analytical guy, but from a fan perspective, that's how I looked at it. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair to City, like their press is very, very strong, and so Real Madrid though is one of the teams that why are they? Besides their mentality, their DNA, the way they carry themselves, the quality of the individuals, but they're a team that is confident in against the press, like you said, and so that's why they're so hard for City to beat at times because they can just play through them. Not all the time because they do have to concede possession at times, but Real Madrid is able to withstand that really well, and so that they're a tough match for City. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting points you made, and I want to dissect some of the main themes. First, so let me just hit the chat. Joel says Real Madrid is like a super technical boxer. They study you in the first few rounds and then throw feints to see how you react, and then they knock you down. Yeah, and they're also just like they're patient, like kind of what you're saying, and they take their chances. I thought that they had higher quality chances today, and that's why I think that they were slightly better in my opinion. Um, yeah, Clint, there's a slight echo on your end, but
Oh, sorry.
yeah, all good. But yeah, so I think that I thought they would win the game because then De Bruyne scored that beautiful goal, and it was I would say a draw is fine, but yeah, I think that they're able to punish City. And we're gonna talk about the second leg, but yeah, who are we getting for the summer? We don't know. Oh, at this point, yeah, is Origi gonna score? Yeah, let's see. I'd say Origi is gonna score. I'll say he'll score a hat trick tomorrow. That'd be nice. Um, well, I'm not scared. I'm just a little bit. I've got a little anxious, a little nervous because it's a big game. Man City are, yeah. I don't like the whole red and black thing. Like their kits. I mean, for me, it's kind of like not. It's not almost insulting, but whatever. Not an insult,
No,
but
but I mean, you know the
kind of
story
strange.
behind it, though, right?
What about like the
The,
AC Milan
yeah,
kit?
the Man
Yeah.
City red and black. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw their Twitter thing. They were like kind of saying that they're like the new Milan.
No,
Like,
no, it's not that. They got inspired. That jersey is like a homage to AC Milan. That's why they have that red stripe jersey. It's
yeah, but
inspired.
at the same time, though, I saw the video and they were kind of like saying that they're the new Milan. Like they were saying like we're gonna take it from here or whatever. Like,
Oh
but
yeah,
they
no, I mean that's
yeah
probably other bullshit, but the red and black was inspired by that.
yeah whatever. You can take it how you want, but
Yeah,
it's just kind of strange to me. But
yeah.
um yeah uh. Omari Thompson, what's up? This guy's an OG. He's been on the channel for so long. Hey, yeah, I was on that channel talking about. I do sometimes go on the panels there. It's just kind of crazy, but yeah, it's always a fun space. Um,
It,
yeah, Man City looked today, from my honest thought, was that Man City looked a little bit like they didn't. Okay, you could say that I want to get into the whole. Did Pep should or did Pep try to play more conservative? Because this is a big conversation. Um, I think that you know, on that point, Man City seem to not be as dominant, and we can talk about Holland and these players, but they look to be a little bit passive, and maybe that was the plan. I'm about to get into that, but then we can discuss. What's up, Mustafa? How are you, man? Man City got lucky. The ball went out. Yes, and we're also gonna get into that. Leao will probably not be starting tomorrow, from what I'm seeing, unless this is sort of like an undercover thing.
I mean the picture he was training today, so
Yeah, but
we
he
don't
was
know.
separated from the rest of the team. But yes,
It's good. You
what's
know,
up,
I
SSB? Yep.
Yep, I think it's good. Just add to the Man City thing. One thing I want to add is they have, in the space of 7, 8 days, they have 3 games. They don't want to lose points for the league. And I reckon that's why Pep did not make no change. They look really tired. When you look at Greeley, they're really sloppy. They're tired, hard fought on battles. There's a lot of games that are coming down the pipeline that they just cannot, they can't afford to just drop points. And then against Everton, they have to go all the way. They have to be 100%. And then you have Madrid again next week. So I think, in terms of rotational purposes, I think that's why they looked a bit sluggish, as you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I did change my YouTube name, by the way. It's like Unknown Drift, and I don't want to get too much into that right now, but maybe I'll share in the future.
That's his frat name.
And Madrid will win. Hopefully. I mean, I'm cheering for Madrid. Yeah. So on this point, okay. So my honest thoughts on this whole take on, did Pep play conservatively on purpose? So people are saying that obviously Pep is always playing attacking football, and then because of that he gets punished, and that's why he hasn't been able to win. And then so this year against Leipzig and Bayern, he was always conservative for one leg, but then at home they like went off and in the knockout rounds. So this is sort of the theory that, a draw would serve Manchester City here, which, it would make sense. You get a draw away, you go home. I think, though, that my problem with this is for two things. One, from like an overall standpoint of the game, I think Real Madrid today, they looked really energized and they're very much in it. I mean, they're always in it, but for me, if you give them, you know, the opportunity to like be still in the game, then it only makes it makes them more dangerous. And I think that you can't really bank on going back to the Etihad and just destroying them like you've done to other teams, because they're just different. They're fine away from home. So I'm a little bit, I don't really like that strategy personally. And if Pep did restrict them, I mean, maybe for defensive purposes fine, but why don't you make any substitutions? Like, on that same note, why don't you try subbing in Alvarez after Holland is getting
Yep, I
completely
agree.
completely restricted the entire game? Like, you should still be trying to do something. And I felt like too many City players were having poor games today. Like,
Really
yeah,
sloppy on the ball, especially defense. Some of these mistakes is because Madrid didn't materialize on them, but it could have been really ugly the way they were losing the ball in their own half.
yeah,
And I think I think fear hit them once the goal went in and they were missing, because you start reminiscing, from a player psychology standpoint. They start reminiscing from last year, and you start having those bubble guts, like you don't know what to operate, and Madrid crowd is getting routed up, and they're playing more with confidence, and it happens because and then with Pep, it's an energy thing too, because he's thinking like, oh, here we go again. Is this gonna be another scenario? But yeah, KDB scores, but I think personally, it's going back to the 80. It's not gonna matter because I don't know. It's the Man City Dome is not known for a stadium to
yeah.
scare opponents. The team is just good. Don't get me wrong, but from a fan standpoint, I don't know, man.
Yeah, the Etihad isn't a fortress, Egan says. I don't
Yeah,
see why Madrid can't win there. Yeah, me neither, honestly. I agree with that. I think so. I kind of agree. Like you said, Clint. That's why for me, when I was watching the game, I felt like, oh yeah. I mean, is it just that Man City is playing conservatively? I mean, I think that they were sloppy, and this is like, I mean, it's based on the way they talk and their fans talk about their team. I'm expecting them to be super precise, go look to dominate. So when I see these performances, I'm going to be critical about them, because people talk about Man City like they're. I mean, even myself, I usually say that Man City, from what I see in England, plays such a high standard. So when they play at a lower standard, um, I'm not saying it wasn't Madrid that made them play this way, but it looked like too many mistakes today, like you said. So I think that there was something strange about today, and they better not carry this into the next leg, because Madrid will still go out there and punish them. They could have done more today, on a few instances, and I think that they are playing a dangerous game if they're just like banking on this second game. So I overall that's my thoughts on the game. I think Madrid, even though they got the draw, in my opinion, although City is happy with the draw, I think Madrid is in a good position, because Madrid went out there and they look to be, unlike last year where Madrid were getting outplayed for most of the two legs. Today they were, in my opinion, the better team. Although yes, they would have liked to win the game ideally.
and they
So
get
yeah,
Militao back. Madrid gets Militao back.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
he plays a big role in that defense. Rudiger did a good job holding on to Holland. Because if I was Pep in that game, you should have got like the second forward that can move in and out. They were really static in front of the Madrid's box. That's
Hmm.
why all the balls you weren't doing nothing, because you wanted to do cross. The ball wasn't moving as quickly. You have a Foden, you have an Alvarez that can run in behind. One touch, one touch. There's a lot of pacing thing. They could have done a lot of damage to that Madrid side. Just Holland, target man type. He gets
Yeah.
neutralized easily because Rudiger knows that's what they're gonna do. Try to find them, neutralize the guy, and I feel like Holland got bullied the whole game.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I was going to talk about Erling Haaland, right? So everyone was saying before this game that Man City, compared to last year, Man City dominated and they lost, but whatever. And they basically got better because they got Erling Haaland. So why aren't they going to win this year? Well, if you look at this first leg, I made this comment earlier on another stream. Erling Haaland was completely neutralized, which was he's the X factor of what they were, of what all the fans were talking about. And on top of that, Real Madrid did improve as well, because Vinicius Jr. is better than
There
last
you
year.
go. Yep.
Kamavinga at left back was really good, besides some dumb mistakes that he made. Um,
Rodrigo,
Rodrigo is good. He wasn't amazing today, but and then they
but he's
still have
better than
these.
last year, so he's not a
Right,
liability no more.
right,
He can
yeah,
come in And because the difference from Rodrigo last year and this year is that this year now they don't have to play Valverde now on the right anymore. You understand? Like now you can have Rodrigo over there with pace, and he can also do what Vinny does. Maybe
Yeah.
not run as fast, but he can dribble past. He can eliminate 2 3 people, which adds something else to Madrid's game, which is not used. So they don't have to just rely on Vinny. You have him over there if you leave him alone. And I think that's the difference from last year. Last year, Rodrigo was just like a wild card. He'll come in, he might score, he might do his thing, still young, but more confidence is building in the kid, and you just see in the way he plays.
Yeah, and I will say, on this note, a few things. One for City, next game, if Holland is still neutralized, which people are saying because of the energy away, maybe he's gonna, score and maybe City are gonna dominate, whatever. But if it's not going that way, they should consider putting in Alvarez. Alvarez is much better on the ball. He's quick. He's a great player, and also Mahrez deserves a game too. I mean, I'm sure Mahrez will play in the league and not in the Champions League. But I'm surprised. These are great players, but I guess Pep
Maybe
has
just to
dismissed them.
before, sorry to cut you off. Maybe
Yeah,
for Mares, the problem is this: he plays on that same side with Bernardo Silva, which Bernardo Silva was defending because you got to double team Vinny. Mares is not the one to also always defend, so he can be a liability in exposing what's his name in the back on Kyle Walker by himself, because
yeah,
we sit on and on again. We're seeing now Vinny can now go past Kyle Walker. So having just Kyle Walker back there is not enough. So if you have Mahrez starting, that can be a liability where Vinny can just take advantage of, because you cannot leave the kid for even 2 seconds. And it's a
yes,
problem.
yeah. Listen, and on this last main topic, then we can read chat and then wrap up this game. Oh yeah, and then we'll get to the goal. But people are saying some people are saying that obviously Vinny was carrying the offense today. He was by far the best player for Real Madrid. Everything was coming from him. He was avoiding players, like jumping past 2 to 3 players all the time, dribbling past them. He scored an amazing goal. Everything. Vinny was fantastic. Everyone is saying that, or not everyone. A lot of people are saying that Benzema now, because today wasn't his best game. He didn't miss too many clear chances, but I guess in the first half he kind of missed a few key controls that he should have done better with. And in the second half, he had a header that was kind of straight at Ederson. Maybe he could have placed that better. And I mean, he wasn't a bad game. I thought his link-up play was fine, but he is getting criticized a bit. And like SSB did say here in the chat, I think he said that, um, it's basically Vinny or bust. But I think Benzema will get into the game, and I don't think it's too much of a concern because Madrid, they looked smooth today. It was just about a few situations. Yes, maybe Benzema should be isn't at the level he was, like, crazy Ballon d'Or where he would finish everything and he was at the peak of his game last year, but he can still be super important. And I wouldn't be too concerned for Real Madrid. But then again, the tie is completely open. I'm not saying Real Madrid's going to win necessarily, but I think that they shouldn't be like upset with the game today. And if I was a Real Madrid fan, I wouldn't be like negative about the result going into this second
No,
leg.
definitely not,
Yeah.
because there's no more way goals. Because that used to be the big factor back then, right? These goals from they score first. Now it's mainly the results and goal differential. So you getting a 1-1 or 1-0, no difference. The more pressure, and especially this deep in the competition, you see the more stress relies now on the whole on the home team now, because it's almost like a final. It's a 1 game off. You can't fuck up because y'all didn't win, in Madrid. Now Madrid is free fall for them. They can go in, they can score 2 goals, put themselves safe. Their worst case scenario might be a draw if they score, 2 goals back to back. They got nothing to lose. They
Yep.
have more to lose. And City has more that pressure psychologically. And I don't know, what's gonna happen in the weekend, because they're also looking at the league, which is taking also a big toll on them. You know,
Yep.
and that's a
Yeah.
problem.
I think the league is almost done though. They almost have it, so they're probably going to win the Premier League and FA Cup. Did
Yeah,
they?
they play against
Yeah,
Man United,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
They play against Man United, but more the league is they drop point against Everton. That it can affect you. One thing I realized, watch champions over the years, also your league games. That's why I'm happy Milan won their game. those league games matter for morale purposes. So you don't go in, you go in with a sense of like, okay, we hit targets, right? Whatever we did in training, we were really, we're able to materialize on that. So we're going forward. And I think I think Madrid or City, they need to win, their respective league game going into that next game for a psychological boost, because I think that's going to be the factor that's going to determine this. I don't think it's going to be tactics that's going to allow. I think it's going to be who's ready psychologically that's going to go through in this game based on what we saw today, for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a great. So they're playing next week, right?
Yep.
Both legs. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a great second leg. Just before we talk about the controversy, just to look at like the starting lineups here, I think if you want to point out some individuals, Rudiger was fantastic against Holland. Holland did pretty
Sure.
much nothing besides one shot in the first
Fully
half.
the kid.
Alaba was good as well in helping. Kamavinga was good as like a you know usually kind of a little bit out of position at left back, but he did very well defensively. Modric was solid. It wasn't his best game, but he was in some key link ups. Cruz was a bit. I mean, I don't think he had a fantastic game. He had a couple of harsh fouls, but he was key in controlling the midfield. Man City did not dominate the midfield.
Mm-mm.
Valverde was pretty solid. Benzema did not do too much, and then Vinny was the best player in my opinion. On Real Madrid, of course, with the goal. And then for City, De Bruyne scored a great goal, and he was given man of the match, which I don't really think he deserved because besides that goal, before he scored that goal, I was kind of saying I was like, wow, is everyone right about De Bruyne? Like, is he really going to do absolutely nothing in the key games? Because he was making a lot of poor passes, but then he scored that goal, and I was really impressed.
For
And
me, man in the match would
yeah,
have been Kamavinga. He broke up a lot of plays and he initiated a lot of things. He was all over the pitch. And the
yeah,
grip.
I agree with that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think De Bruyne he did step up. That was a huge goal because if they had lost this game, then there would be a lot more
Also credit to
fear.
Courtois. Also credit to Courtois. Good shot stopper, man.
Yep.
That's a good shot stopper right there. Like always confidence. He always comes to the call. Always in those big games, man. Because he keeps them in the game. Especially when he made himself big when KDB shot right there where he was face to
Oh
face
yeah,
with
it's a
him.
big save. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
So
think it was called offside though. But yes, it
yes,
was.
still, you're focusing the game. Shout out to him for
Yeah,
sure.
he saved it with his hand. Like it was a strange save, but he stopped an offside. It was ended up being offside, but it was a good run, and De Bruyne
No, he
missed.
made himself big. He's good at
Yeah,
doing. He's one of the only goal. He's one of the goalkeepers in Europe. Him, I'll probably say Allison. That they're good at doing that screen when like 101 where they're good to block these balls. Even when he was at Chelsea, Atletico, like Courtois has always been good at that. Doing those like big screens and stopping the ball right there with his hand. It's
yeah,
really intelligent goalie for sure.
yeah. And then on the just to close out, I think overall City's defense was pretty solid. Kyle Walker and Diaz had good games. Um, besides that Vinny goal, Vinny just shot with like the whole Man City back line was there, but he shot from outside the box, and it seemed like maybe Ederson could have saved that, but he was kind of misfooted or wrong-footed, whatever. And so Vinny kind of put it into the top, sort of not really corner, but it kind of it was tough for Ederson to save. But people are maybe saying that he should have been better positioned, but it's hard to tell. But Walker did tried his best to like neutralize Vinny, but Vinny just would cut
He's
inside.
getting older too, so he's not as
Yeah,
fast as before.
it was tough. It was tough.
Mhm.
You can't really stop Vinny, but he did his best. And Diaz, they were good for the most part in stopping. Like Madrid didn't have too many clear cut
I just want to
chances.
add this though. Vinny's been moving really intelligently. So he's not going straight and take you off. Like he'll move in any different way, shape, or form. He creates a lot of space. I think the only problem they have, like, if Madrid had a left back like a Theo, man, it would have been fucking ridiculous. They would have been eating in that game because he draws so many forwards that opens up space. I mean, I say so many forwards, so many like players, like defenders that opens up space. It's fucking ridiculous. I don't know if you saw that part in the game where he just went straight in the middle of the pitch and he was dragging 3, 4 players along with him, and
Yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah. Vinny was like a man possessed today. He was going off, like
The spirit
taking
of
off.
Pele.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. Like Vinny was. pretty much. I mean, everyone agrees that he's on form, the best player in the world right now.
Top three right now for sure.
Probably the best right now in the world. In terms of his firm. But anyways, guys, so here's the controversy. I am going to pull up this tweet from actually ESPN posted this, which is it's strange to see them calling out something against an English team. But look at this on Twitter. This was a VAR or a little picture from the second or from Kevin De Bruyne's goal, the second goal in the 60 something minute in the second half, where apparently before the goal, the ball had gone outside of the pitch. So here, this is a picture. The ball does look to be beyond the line,
Yes.
and Bernardo Silva does not actually save it. And so Ancelotti, I think, was very upset. He was arguing with the referee on the sideline about it, and then after in the post match conference, he spoke about it. But it does appear that it was out of bounds. So if VAR had reviewed that, which for some reason they didn't review it,
and guess who was the VAR referee?
It was an Italian, right?
Fucking what's his name? Irati, Massimiliano Irati.
Yeah.
If y'all don't know, y'all can look him up. He sounds
Yeah.
really familiar, faceless familiar. And Orsato was his fourth official. And I cannot stand Irati for my fucking life. He was. But I listened to the commentary by Christina Uncle on CBS Plus Sport, what the law says, what the rules. This one they really missed it because people were comparing this to the Japan against Spain. But the Japan against Spain, it was a bit different because they said the ball is spherical, so therefore it wasn't out of bounds just based on the shape of the ball. For this one, it's completely different. It was out of bounds, and the reason why they said VAR couldn't, it wasn't like a direct attacking play, from my understanding, but they did miss on this for sure for VAR.
They should, because if they review it, it's going to be canceled. Listen, and I don't like to talk about referee conspiracies, but let's just say that because we're used to watching the Serie A, we've seen some crazy stuff with Juventus and some other teams. It's not like, so it's in the back of our minds, a lot of us Milan fans. And I remember like a few years ago, I don't think it was last year, or maybe it was. Did Man City play Dortmund in one of the knockouts last year, or was it the year before?
Last year.
I think it was last year, but it was when I don't know if you remember that Bellingham scored a goal.
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah, and they called the referee, basically VAR couldn't interfere, and what happened was they called it off because Ederson hit Bellingham because Bellingham got to the ball first. But before Bellingham had scored, the referee blew his whistle and didn't let VAR even interfere. So it's like these episodes of kind of, I'm not saying that Man City is like cheating or anything, but like it's crazy how like this is another big episode that goes their way in Europe. I mean, it feels like it's rare that things go Milan's way. Maybe against Napoli, on the overall, it was like a pretty fine. The referee was like not really against us.
Personally,
but,
like they said before, and just that's my little side comment on the refereeing thing. They should do how we do in American sports, where referees at the end of each game should explain their decisions. It keeps them accountable, so they're not making stupid calls the way we do here. Like in the NFL, when they'll call a play and they'll explain why they're blowing it up, or they get mic'd up.
Yeah.
What transparent? You just be transparent if you're not doing nothing with in the live game. So then we understand the decisions better based on what, because some of these make no sense at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of gray area, and it's annoying that this still happens because honestly, if Real Madrid was 1-0, this would be really, then like everyone would be in more chaos because all the City fans are saying, relax, it's 1-1. We were this is all part of the plan. But if they had gone down, it would have kind of changed the outlook of the game. But still, whatever. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think Real's in a good position. Before we move on, let me just read some chats. Rock says, "Gotta keep the EPL darlings alive." Yeah,
he knows why he's saying that, because he had a big fight. He's bullying people in the chat. Rock, stop it! Stop bullying people, man.
I don't know what this is about, but Um, they'll do anything to help the EPL. Um, yeah, I love this picture, Kobe Bryant with the Milan jersey. They should do it like in the NBA. Each coach has a challenge, and if a call is, yeah, I mean, I would agree with that because you should ask for it to be reviewed.
But it will
Because I
be
feel,
too much delays, right? But my only
yeah,
problem with the challenge thing is it's like football is something. It's not a stop and play type thing. You start putting challenges and challenging in. Look at what we're doing, even when people are time wasting. I mean, you're opening Pandora's box for people to start.
yeah,
I feel like it's just gonna kill the momentum of the game, which that's what dictates. That's the essence of this sport compared to the other ones, right? It's within the moment, the fast things, the adrenaline. You start doing challenges and all that crazy shit. I don't know, man. I feel like it's just gonna fuck shit up.
yeah. I mean, my counter to that would be that with VAR already, it's like we've already introduced things that are delaying the game. So I mean, I wouldn't see a problem with like a coach once a game being like, okay, can you? I want you to review this one more time or something like that, and then it's like it would be like an extra VAR review in the middle of the game. But yeah, I mean that's fair. Um, you think Madrid need a right back? Carvajal, I think, was pretty solid this game. He was defending Grealish a lot. Ancelotti would have used the chat. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, I would. I don't think it was that on. Like, it was a somewhat close game. Madrid didn't dominate, but I thought Madrid were better for sure. Um. Oh, I'm not too sure about this, Joel, and I'll look into it, but I don't want to talk about it too much right now. But I did not know about this. Um, I know they got relegated to Serie B though.
I'm happy they're getting relegated. I'm all for the teams. I don't know, Antonio. You haven't been around enough, like the past few months, but I've been advocating for teams like Sampdoria. All these teams that are lingering in the middle of the table to get relegated so they can revamp themselves because I feel like they haven't been ambitious enough and it's killing the league overall. So for me, next year I reckon Udinese needs to fucking go. So then you come back with fresh new ideas and you understand like you need to evolve. That's what's gonna make us competitive instead of I want to settle to be 10th, 11th, and then
Yeah,
dwell in there. It doesn't help us, man.
I kind of agree with that. I think that Monza's a good team that is
Look
like,
what they're doing. That's
yeah,
what we need.
they
New ideas.
they
There you go.
improved. Yeah, yeah. So
Hmm.
it's good to have these teams. I think the league is already becoming super competitive, so it's
Hmm.
good to keep building.
And that's why I want people like teams like Sampdoria. Actually, I want Torino actually to drop next. I like Judic, but Torino needs to go, bro. They need to go.
I think
Yeah, they need to
Verona may
go.
go down too.
Yep.
Um, football is yeah, it's interesting. Um, yeah, yeah, of course. A goal, yeah, that's the thing with a goal. I mean, goals are super important, right? Because so being able to like review and get the right decision on a goal, in my opinion, is worth it. I think VAR is a good idea overall, and so I wouldn't be opposed to the whole challenge thing.
It
But
needs to
yeah,
be the only problem with VAR. It needs to be utilized properly, and I don't think they're failing to do so in some cases.
yes, yeah. Over and then Egan here says about Man City, the Champions League that Pep won at Barca are all questionable. They bought the referees. Is it surprising that? Yeah,
Yeah, because when I think about that Chelsea game, it hurts my soul to this day in '09, man. They should have never made it to that final. That's a fact. They should have never made it to that final. Never.
yeah. I haven't even. I'm not too familiar with that game, but I heard
Yeah,
that it
no,
was.
there's multiple penalties within that game that were not whistled. And Iniesta scores at Stamford Bridge that last goal where it's 1-1 and they qualified, but Chelsea was up and that's the one where I don't know, you probably saw a meme online where Drogba is in like this is a disgrace, this is a disgrace. Like you hear Drogba says that if
Oh
you ever
yeah,
saw
yeah,
that
yeah,
clip, that's
yeah,
off that game. It's so fucking disgraceful.
yeah. Oh yeah, I gotta watch the like a video about that.
Hmm.
Ollie says the fact that Benzema isn't at the peak of his powers gives me hope that Milan might be able to take a W in a one-off. Funny enough, like I'm not going to jinx anything. I'm not going to talk about Milan in the final because we have a very, very big task ahead of us to get there. But if we were to play Real or City, I listen. I love Real Madrid, and I respect them so much. But I would rather play them for a few things. Number one, I just feel like because it's Ancelotti, like I just feels like I would rather lose to Ancelotti than lose to Man City.
Yep.
Because like I respect Real Madrid and they've already won so many times, so it's like we're not gonna catch them anytime soon. And it's like, okay, I don't want to be the team that gives Man City its first UCL. And Pep and all those like the super money clubs. So I would rather lose to Real Madrid. Also, I think Real Madrid they do let you play more in terms of their tactics, and the one thing about Milan is that we're going to be the underdogs for the rest of the tournament. Like we've pretty much always been the underdogs this tournament. We're going to go in with an underdog mentality. We're going to go in they're not going to press us like crazy like Man City does, like the suffocating press. And they're going to give us some opportunities, and we're going to run a lot. Tonali is going to run a lot, put in a shift in that situation, and maybe something would happen. So I think that would be my ideal final. But of course, I'm not saying we're in the final. I've knocked on wood too many times today, and I'm going to do that again. And let's be very modest because we have a big task ahead of us that we're going to get into right now. But yeah, this is or let's get into the big event because in less than how many hours away is it officially? It's got to be like I want to say 12 maybe 4 15 16 hours. No, maybe 17 hours away. We're playing uh Inter first leg and listen, I'm going to be honest. I'm pretty nervous. I know that a lot of Milan fans are some like maybe Roy. I don't know. Roy is definitely not saying that Milan's going to win for sure, but I don't know. You guys are just a bit calmer. Maybe it's the old guys here that are a little bit calmer, the boomers in the chat and the boomers around, but they've seen this before. But guys, for the younger fans out here, maybe like Joel, myself, this is new and it's kind of uncomfortable. I mean, it's like I'm so happy we're here. It doesn't really feel real to me. Clint, at the beginning of the season, what was your prediction for how far we would get in the tournament?
My prediction for the tournament when the draws came, for me was at least getting out the group stage round of 16. I was satisfied with that, with a round of 16. Then the following 2 years, quarterfinals and go forward. So I think this was like overachieving, but I cannot say no to that because I think this is what my fourth semifinal that I'm seeing Milan playing in. And for the background here, I heard you said like the newcomers every semifinal that Milan has played in, except the one in 2005, except the '05 one. No, actually, it's my fifth. It's my fifth semifinal. Sorry, yeah. Milan has always been kind of like underdog, where like we barely kind of make it through. At least I haven't. The '90s, I was really young, but like the 2000s, I was really there, and it was more. We get away with it's kind of like these similar situations. I remember '03 vividly. I watched the game. We're going in there. Inter was supposed to be favorites, man. I mean, they had all the top, the top dogs, including Juve in the final. So, but we go out there and we prove, like they said, that UCL DNA. And I'm still in that mode. It's one of these games. I'm not even crazy stressed, to be honest with you. I'm not. I'm not at all. It's like I'm calm. I'm like, dude, Milan is gonna do what they do because then again, bro, you got Maldini that's your sporting director that played in these things. It's not always given to teams to have that. Madrid doesn't have that. They can't rely. Raul and some of these guys around the club, but they're blessed enough where like I'm not even crazy. We have more to prove than Inter does. I'm being serious. And I think if the football gods are listening to us, I think they'll be fair enough to be like, you know what? Let Milan. No, I'm being serious. Let Milan have it. We've been through more shit than they have. They've been in the Champions League the past 6, 7 years, bro. That's only our second Champions League. Our
Yeah.
second year in the
Hey, let
Champions
them
League.
let them have their Super Cup and their Coppa
Yeah, let
Italia.
them have
We'll
the
play.
Mickey Mouse Cup, bro. This is where we belong. And I won't bear to, dude. I'd rather win now and how you call that, and losing the final. But boy, I would not do. I can't even conceive. I have not even thought about the possibility seeing Inter lifting that cup, bro. I can't. There's no fucking way. There's no way,
Yeah.
bro.
So okay, listen, let's get into the game. So these are sort of the projected lineups. So the big news here is that Leao will probably not play. I mean, okay, maybe he doesn't start and maybe he gets subbed in. Depends on how he is tomorrow. Most likely, I would say like 80% chance he doesn't start. Maybe like a 50% chance he actually gets any minutes. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. But if that it's just for the preservation, so that maybe for the second leg we can have him there for the whole game. So I guess that's the strategy, but it's risky. So without Leao, it looks like obviously Giroud, Diaz, Benacer, Tonales. It looks like Salamakers or Diaz will fit in that left wing. Probably Salamakers. Krunic, Tonali, and Benacer will most definitely play for solidity. Kjaer has been very solid when he's played. I trust him. We have Calabria, Teo, and Tomori. So I would say that for the most part, this is pretty accurate.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
makes this different, Antonio? What I want to add, what makes this different is a two leg game. It's 180 minutes. If it was 90 minutes, then we're more worried. But on this game, I think for Milan, you should probably draw inspiration from the game of today, where if we're doing a 1-1, even a draw doesn't really matter, because what really gonna matter in this game is the last game, unless you get blown out like the first game, right? Or you kind of do it. But
Don't
if
say that,
we
Clint. Don't say that,
no, no,
Clint.
yeah, but if we start on a clean slate, we're not trying to exaggerate anything. I think personally, okay, we look at it. Do you risk Leao? You can have Leao as a wild card. I'd rather have Leao come in the second half, because you know the 20 half you get occasions in and there. You keep Inter at bay. I mean, the team is already going to be attacking, because the moment they're putting Benacer over there, and that's Benacer's initial position. That's what allowed Benacer to be that Trequartista. That's what allowed him to be the best African player during the African Cup of Nations in 2019. I watched all Algeria games. I remember it vividly. So having him there, because they used to put KC there last year, but KC is not as technical. He was able to bully. But the thing is, Benacer kind of have both. Maybe not too much the physical, but he can attack. He can break up plays. So he can probably stick to Brozovic, and he can orchestrate the plays from over there. So that's already a bonus. And Theo's probably going to go off. And I think that's why you keep Salamakers there for Theo to compensate for Leao not being there. Kind
Yeah.
of like what we did last week. So I'm not too worried. Do you really risk Leao if you're unsure? You know, I
Yeah.
wouldn't do it. I
I
in the
don't
second
know.
half.
It's crazy. It's funny because I Leao being missing, but it's more of like a media thing because I feel like a lot of Milan fans, although there's a lot of concern, a lot of Milan fans are also saying like, okay, relax, we're gonna be more solid and we'll just play with, we'll be fine without him for like one leg. I get, we have to be optimistic, but we'll see what happens. We have Salad Maker who says he's gonna ball out. Don't worry, guys, and he's going to go after Denzel Dumfries. So guys, my big thing is okay. Inter, up until maybe like a few weeks ago, Inter was kind of very shaky in form. They were tying games, having struggle scoring. Now they've picked up and they look really strong. Their lineup here says that Lukaku will start. He's been in very good form. He looks to be He's picked up his ball playing skills in the past few weeks, and he's scoring goals, getting assists. So he
But
does
I
look to
wouldn't
be
start if I'm
dangerous.
Inter. If I'm
Uh,
Inzaghi, you don't start Lukaku. You don't want to start Lukaku. You start in Zeko. Zeko, this is the type of game Zeko will excel. If I want to take Inter side in this side and this space, he plays well with Lautaro. They've been a good, especially against us. I wouldn't even start Lukaku. I don't think Lukaku will do nothing if he starts, because Lukaku's been good coming off the bench. And I think if you switch that formula, because if Lukaku starts off with a bad game, that sets the tone for the rest of the two legs. Hello, Antonio, you there? Oh.
Okay, I apologize. I had like a short cutout. Um, anyways, yeah. So I agree with what you're saying there. I think that for me, Dzeko could be the right player. Um, I don't know. Lukaku though he does scare me more. Although Dzeko has better link up
Bro,
play.
me personally, the player that scares me right now in that team, bro, is DiMarco. I don't
Oh
know,
yeah,
bro.
I was gonna get into that. Yeah, I mean,
Fuck,
so
bro.
the
That
rest.
kid, that kid scares me the most. And I'm not trying to give Inter too much credit, but bro, that DiMarco, like those inverted runs these guys make, man, like fuck. He's the dude that I watch out for. That I hope he can get neutralized because, yeah, I don't know, bro. He scares me more.
Yeah, so their lineup. Okay, Acerbi's actually been really solid. No Skriniar, but Onana's been doing very well. They have this formation that's been pretty solid. So I think for me, the few players like you said, Dimarco looks to be fantastic. He's having a great year. Barella is fantastic. Brozovic is really good at dictating the play. But the thing about Inter, more so about some of the individuals, is just the way that they set up. They're just such an annoying team to play against. I think besides this year's 3-2 win earlier in the season, every time we play Inter, it's always like it's so hard to score on them to get through them because they're so congested and the games are just so like rough and always like complicated. And so that's what really is annoying about playing them. I think playing another team non-Inter would be. I'd feel a little bit less stress, obviously the rivalry, but maybe because they play a different style. But Inter, I just know the game tomorrow is going to be complicated. Like, there's no, I don't know if you guys disagree with me, but I don't see any scenario of us going and scoring and like having like a 2-goal lead tomorrow, like by the end of the game. Like the most we can hope for, in my opinion, is having a 1-goal lead.
The
I'm
the
like,
only the only
I
reason I disagree, I agree with your whole statement, but the only reason I have a rebuttal for you is Inter can also be really sloppy towards the end of the game. They tend to be sloppy and start lacking focus, and that's how they get got, right? The reason why I'll say it'll be hard for us, and I say I agree with the first thing of the statement is we struggle against low blocks, and Inter will be a low block if they want us to have the ball, right? Because you got two teams that don't want the ball, right? We're
yeah.
not playing against a team that just straight possession. Inter doesn't want the ball. They want to hit it on counter attack, and we struggle against that because they have solid defenders. Okay, fine, but sometimes, bro, they have lapse in concentrations. Sometimes it can be really bad. They can be really bad, and they don't know what the fuck to do. And I think it's a derby, bro. It's a let me put it as that it's a fucking derby. It's no, I'm being serious. It's a derby,
Eh.
so we can't use the 3-2 when we beat them. They can also use like, oh, what happened in Super Copa. This tomorrow is a completely different game. It's the UCL final, which is completely different. Which is completely different. The only thing why I feel like we're edging is because we're eliminating Napoli. We're eliminating Napoli, you
Yeah.
know, which is supposed to be that team that one of the top attacking teams ever, like, in the league and also in the Champions League. They got eliminated and we kept them quiet. So I think that's the only edge we have, but we can't look at past results. Inter all our fans, because it's a derby. Adrenaline is going to be up, and I think our players now are more mature. 2 years ago, you would have probably been like, okay, we got the bubble guts, but when I see people like Salamakers now, I mean, bro, they be provoking fans and players now. They're grown. That wasn't the case before. So, I feel like, Theo, I hope they give Theo the armband because when that boy has that armband, he goes nuts. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Listen,
It's a
I don't.
derby. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. Yeah, and because of that, for me, I would say it's still going to be 50-50 because no matter what Inter and Milan's uh, form is, for either team, things just are going to be closed down and it's going to be nervous. Like people are going to be nervous and tense, all this stuff. So you can't really predict anything. And so for me, it's 50-50 as well. Um,
But
I
I can
agree with that.
predict this, brother. Before you continue, I can predict this: is that we need to weather the storm at the beginning. You see how each game, because they're gonna probably try to put pressure the first 20 minutes. If we can keep them out our goal, then we'll be back in the game. Because remember, we don't always start strong in these games. We might, but in that moment of possession, the first 15 minutes, if we can keep them out of goal, I think that will set the tone, and we're gonna hit them, on the right counter. But if they're able to score within five, and those games we lose against Inter, they end up scoring really early in the fucking game or the 8th minute, and then we don't know what the fuck to do. We're all fucking lost, and then it goes two, and then we don't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, yeah, but I
You
mean,
know?
but we'll see I mean, you can't really predict it, I would say, but yeah. Uh, okay, let's see some people in the chat. There's a lot of stuff here. Um, I last time, oh man, I think I was like 4 years old, dude. I was, that was a long time ago, 2007. Um, the game plan should be for tomorrow. Sit back or try to dominate. Honestly, I would say that Milan will probably end up with. I say the possession will be close to 50-50. Maybe we have a slight edge in possession. Inter is gonna just because they play defensive doesn't mean that they give up possession. They still will take possession for some time, and they'll do what they can. Um, I think that our strategy will be to definitely stay solid at the back, but to try to make those quick counters whenever we do have the opportunity, and maybe play through the middle more without Leao. Um,
Yeah, but I think just to add to that, I think if Leao plays tomorrow, if he starts, Inter's not doing possession. They're gonna sit back. They
yeah,
have to.
if Leao
Yep.
starts, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
If he
yeah.
starts, they're gonna sit back. They're not good. They're not gonna try to get caught off guard. They're gonna sit back.
Yeah, they could. I mean, yeah, I think that Leao is just a threat, and they're going to definitely be planning for Leao. So if he doesn't play, it's interesting how they set up. It's also interesting to see if where our offense is going to come from if Leao isn't there, because we have to be able to, like, I think Salamakers can play more through the middle. We'll see how they link up because without that sort of Leao spark to break past someone, it's going to be interesting to see how we play and find opportunities. Giroud better be on point tomorrow, guys, because he better capitalize on the chances that he gets if he gets any chances. So hopefully he's on point. Um, yeah, Ollie is chill. I'm nervous. If Liar predicted the final, then I don't know, man. I doubt it. That'd be crazy if he did. Yeah, the final. Yeah, I'm really nervous because I hate playing Inter. So for me, it's like this new
Don't
experience that
worry.
other people have.
Don't worry, man. It should be a celebration. You should be happy. With
The
me,
thing is,
bro. Listen,
oh,
listen. We don't have 7 Champions League just by fucking luck, bro. We played these guys before. I remember watching us playing them in 2003, and then in 2005. 2005, they had a really strong team with Adriano, Ibra. Ibra was still on that team in 2005, bro. They were loaded. We still beat them. I know they forfeited the second game because of the flares, but dude, we're at the top, man. Like it's a different. They got possessed, bro. Like you even saw with the quality we had, nobody would even predict that we're supposed to beat Napoli. What they were saying,
yeah,
there was something they put on CBS today where they said, when they said like, oh, I don't think nobody wants to draw Napoli before like the quarterfinals draw, and look where we are.
yeah.
It's just, dude, the DNA is in our blood, man. You know,
I hope that works because
we
that's the only
got it.
explanation that I have for like our run this year. But yeah, hopefully I'll trust you guys. Um, yeah, usually we are underdogs. I don't think that the tifos at the stadium are going to be crazy tomorrow. Like that's going to be insane. So I don't know if we're going to see flares, but it's going to be a crazy atmosphere. And this time the whole like world is going to be watching because the game is going to be by itself without any other football or soccer games on at the same time in Europe. So it's going to be like the premier thing. It's going to be crazy. Um, yeah, Maldini and Ibra, yep, they're locked in. Yeah, they can have their Super Copa. Um, is this true? Pioli said either Leao starts and plays or he doesn't play at all. I don't. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
interesting.
they're studying, but I feel like at this point they have the answer, but they're not. They're trying to delay. I feel like Inter's game plans as much as they can. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think purposely it's just fucking mind games. You know, and he might not start. It's fine, but I think Leao needs to definitely be there for the second leg. And yeah, I wouldn't risk him. I wouldn't risk him because you risk him now, and let's say you get the result you want, and he gets injured the tenth minute. It's you're just fucked. You're fucked. Like you just don't know what the fuck to do. And I've seen that happen multiple times. So I
Hmm.
don't know. You know, it's
Yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be a crazy morning. I gotta follow the news. Salamakers is gonna have a field day. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, He's pretty good in the Champions League. Hopefully, Leao is faking it. If if we win, I'm not gonna name that score because that'd be crazy. Without Leao, Inter are gonna. If that happens, I don't know how happy I'll be. I don't know like how excited I would be for that result. Benacer is our Modric. Yeah, I mean Modric is fantastic. Benacer can be for me. He's a little bit too one-footed, but yes, he's super important. Um, yeah, home and away doesn't really mean anything. Um, yeah, I think the fan composition there is a slight advantage in fans, but both of the main curva, Nord and Sud are gonna be the same. Um,
I'm just excited to
yeah,
see the banners tomorrow. I can see what banners they're gonna display. That's what I'm looking to it. I'm looking forward to. Like the banners be so fucking sick, man.
yeah, I know, like the tifos. Yeah,
Yeah, the Tifo banners. Like that Napoli one, the last one was so fucking awesome. But my favorite one is the one against the Derby where they have like these two kids crying. Like one is crying, like the Inter kid is crying. That shit is
yeah,
sick, bro. It's
I
so
know.
fucking
I
sick.
love our fans are amazing. Um, Yeah, so Inter's back line. Okay, on paper they don't. Besides Bastoni, it's not amazing, but Acerbi and Darmian have been really solid. Like they've actually stepped up well, and they're playing in a system that allows them to be protected. And against Giroud, I think that they're fine because Giroud is slower, and we don't have Leao that can. I mean, if Darmian was against Leao, that would be much harder for him. So I think it's still going to be hard for us to break through, but hopefully we can do it. Um, yeah, we have a lot of most. I mean, we have a lot of big leaders on the field. So even if Leao's out, we should still be fine and competitive, and we're gonna fight hard. It's man, if we can do this, it'd be
That's when
fantastic.
you wish. That's when fucking I wish Rebic would have found form, and we had like a Rebic from 2019. Oh my god, bro. Fuck.
Yeah,
This
Ante
is shit like that
Reverson.
I regret, man. I just sit there and I'm like, man, I wish you found form games ago. So even this whole layout doubt would even be in the picture because we're like, okay, Rebic can do the work. But
Yeah, my dad is in the chat, Clint. My dad is in the chat. He says,
Guido, what's
"Look,"
up, man? It's been a long time.
he says,
Shit.
he says, he says, we'll kill them tomorrow. We're humble and we deserve to win. I'm gonna
Yes,
knock on wood for that. I'm gonna knock on
Forza
wood.
Milan, yo, tell them, man. I have faith. It's one of these games, bro. I'm tranquil, man. Like it's like I'm not stressing. I'm like, yo, it is what it is. Like I'm not crazy. I'm just excited to watch it because it's like I don't know, man. I think after when you seen the team, I've seen the team go to three finals. People that are older than me, they seen them go to, five, six, a lot of finals. After a while, man, you look at it from a perspective like, it's just another one. Back then, by my expectation used to be so fucking crazy because I'm like, yeah, we're going to the semi, we should beat them. Like it was like easy, but what this does for the team, man. Like I think if we qualify for the Champions League next year, we're getting out the group stage for sure because the kids' confidence like is boosted, man. Like you went here. I said months ago, Antonio. Look, I said, look how far we came from playing against fucking what's that fucking team, Rio Ave in the rain, you know, fucking preliminary of the fucking Europa League. Now we're in the semifinal in the Champions League. We came a long way, man. We came a
Yeah,
long fucking way.
yeah. I think our growth is pretty amazing. Pioli's doing a good job. I just think we need more depth. I wish we had UCL qualification guaranteed, but it's tough for us to get it. But we'll see. Maybe Juventus gets more points deducted. Guys, look at this. We could either have the rebirth of Rebic, the birth of CDK, or the revival of Origi. If we get one of those, I think we're good. Um,
Yeah, I don't think we're getting.
the second
Oh
leg was a
man,
forfeit
I really
in
believe in
2005.
CDK, but boy. Oh,
Yeah. Hey
yeah,
guys, so they forfeited the second leg right in 2005.
yeah. They forfeited.
Because
I think
we were
we're
already
leading.
winning. We were winning like
Yeah,
three
I think we're
zero.
winning, and then they forfeit. I remember that. And then Dida got injured with a flare. It's just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But that '05, that 2005, that was the fucking year of Adriano was fucking mental, bro. Like Adriano was a fucking I was so afraid of him. Each time we played these guys, I'm like, bro, the fuck. I mean, he went on to win the Golden Boot at the Confederations Cup in '05, bro. Like that was Adriano's year.
Yeah, he was
Fuck,
great.
so fucking good. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
I feel like 2005. That was in the 2000s. That was Milan's best team right there. That '05 team was too stacked. It was loaded. Like it was like the best Milan team, bro. Like in the players we had, we were like, I mean, we were like the top. For me, that was the team that should have won that Champions League. But
Yeah. Obviously,
you
let's not
know,
talk about that. We're not talking about that.
yeah.
My dad says own goal Lukaku. Yeah, Lukaku always gets makes big goals for the other team in big games. Um, yeah, we are heavy underdogs, guys. Let's see here. Uh, I don't. I wouldn't be surprised if Leao turned up tomorrow. Did you guys also notice that Salah was already warming up before Leao signaled the injury? This is a big conspiracy. We'll see if this is true. That would be crazy if this is all sort of like a tactical, mind trick.
I mean,
Yeah,
Leo himself said he was fine. He's training, bro. He's okay. He's not that bad. Like, I think it's just to fuck up the plans, or it might fuck up the lineup. There might be like Leo is in the bench, and then before the game starts, oh, we're putting Leo in. Instead of putting Darmian, they might put Dumfries, and then Dumfries is fucking free bait, and he's getting fucked left to right now. Because Darmian is the one that can really neutralize Leo, but Dumfries, that dude doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Defensively, he's garbage.
he's got pace though.
No, he has pay, but defensively, guarding Leao and Theo, that overwhelms him. He doesn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah,
Damian is more solid.
yeah, yeah. So this could be a whole tactical thing, but I don't know, man. It seems too crazy.
Doesn't matter. At least Inter has all their players. We have all our players. Because my thing is that when you win games like that, I don't want to hear excuses. Oh, we didn't have such and such. Nah, bro. We had everybody. You got beat. You know,
Yeah.
and that's what it is. So that's why I'm looking for forward towards you. So
So yeah, tech guys. Tomorrow we are the home team. Technically, it doesn't really
no, we're
matter.
not. They're the home team.
No, I'm pretty sure we're the home team tomorrow. Like from what I saw.
No, I
Yeah.
think Inter is the home team, man.
No, it's Milan versus Inter, so we are the home team because it's the first. It's the first team is the home team.
Ask people in the chat to confirm. Maybe I'm tripping. I'm driving, so I don't know.
No, yeah, we're the home team tomorrow, guys. From the way this is set up. Yeah, because today was Real Madrid, Man City. Real Madrid was the home team. We are the home team. It doesn't matter. There's no more away goals, so it's irrelevant. And I guess we might have a bit more fans, but that's it. Tifo is going to be crazy. My dad says Acerbi and Darmian are Milan youth players. Acerbi is a starter in the national. My dad loves that. He loves Acerbi, but whatever. When everyone was laughing at him, I said that he's a very good player. Don't let Bastoni put in a cross. Yeah. Yeah, Forza Milan, what's up, Ian? How are you? This is crazy, guys. A lot of great energy in the chat. Tomorrow is the derby of our lives. Yeah, Italian coaches are garbage, Roy says. Oh no. Here we go. Roy is trying to start a fight. Is Teo is gonna make Dumfries cry tomorrow? Yeah, well, hopefully that happens.
I like that rivalry. Look, that's one of my favorite rivalries. Is Dumfries and fucking Theo. Like I love. You ever saw that clip where Theo is laying on the ground and Tonali comes in and pushes Dumfries away, and Theo doesn't want to get up, and then Theo gets up afterwards. Like Theo knows how to get under their skin, man. That's what I like, bro. That's one of the rivals I look him, and then Theo Barella. I like those two. Like it's fucking
Yeah.
funny as fuck.
Did you see Teo's red card on Dumfries? That was
Yeah,
crazy.
that was the same game where he didn't want to get up, and then at the end he fucking just tackled the fuck out of him. Oh
That was
man.
crazy. If Milan plays like versus Atalanta and Lazio, and especially like the game we lost with Napoli in the city, nobody can stop us. I mean, yeah, the opponents matter, but yeah, Milan is the home team. Um, here, oh yeah, oh look at this. Pete says, "What's up, boys? Today's the day. I'm in Milan. It's 5 a.m. Can't sleep. Going to Casa Milan today, and then at 9 p.m. I'll have front row seats at the sunset."
He's linking up with
Oh,
he's linking up with fucking I think he said he's gonna link up with Rock. But Rock is going for the
Rock.
second leg.
Well, is Rock going? I think I didn't know Rock was
No, Rock
going.
is going. Rock is gonna be the second leg.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, he's going
Nice.
to second leg. Yep. Rock is gonna be there. So
Uh, Italy literally has the best coaches in the world. Yeah, Italy's coaches are great, and I think that this year in the Champions League in England and other places, there's a lot of good Italian
I mean look
coaches.
at Dezet what Dezerbi's doing. I reckon he needs to be our next coach.
The Derby's great, and then also how many Italiano in the Conference League. We have Allegri, who you can say what you want about Allegri, whatever.
Terrorist football, the
Yeah,
terrorists.
and then Inzaghi and Pioli are great coaches. Spalletti, great coach. Mancini with the national team. I think we have great coaches overall. And that's not even talking about Ancelotti and Conte. Um, Tonali, yeah, Tonali's a fantastic. Like Tonali's work rate these games has been unbelievable. How do I get your WhatsApp? Oh yeah. Can you, Pete? If you do, you have Instagram? If you have Instagram, I can link up with you on Instagram. Good job, Pete. Yeah, Pete's got to represent us. Um, Ancelotti, De Zerbi, Mancini, yeah, Inzaghi, Spalletti, Conte, Allegri, Pioli, Italiano. Tell me what country has this much depth in terms of quality coaches? I agree. Rock is going to the second leg. I just got email from him. Oh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, guys, I don't think I'm gonna hold the stream much longer. I don't. I think tomorrow Roy will do like a tactical
Yeah,
discussion.
he will, cause I'm getting ready to dip. Anyways, it was nice talking to you. I just didn't hear from nobody in the longest. But um, if Roy does a stream tomorrow, come back on. Since you're free, come back on some more so we can have more debates about these men.
Yeah, and listen, I want to say this about this is like this argument about Italian coaches that got my dad pissed off. Roy, you lost this argument. Like, let's just be honest. My dad was right. Italian coaches have done really well this year. So yeah, I think they've done fantastic. Um, so there's not it's not even I think my dad has won that argument. But anyways, listen, Clint, thanks for coming on. Guys, Pete, if you have Instagram or if you're in contact with Rock, tell Rock to reach out to me and then we can get in touch because I have Rock's contact information. But if you
Yeah.
have Instagram, follow Rossonati. Um okay, if email. Yeah, I have email.
You're in Philly though, right? And, you're in
Yes.
Philly, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I was in Philly 2 weeks ago. I went to Philly twice last month.
Are you
I
in
was in Philly
Houston,
2 weeks
Clint?
ago. Huh?
You're in Houston, right?
I mean, I'm from DC, but yeah, I live in Houston. But I was out there in Philly for work. I was downtown. I was downtown the whole time.
Oh, you should have told me. That's yeah.
No, I mean
I,
you went to school. Yeah, I
yeah,
told
I go to
Rock.
school in Philly though.
Yeah, Rock said, "Well, you go to Temple."
No, I go to Penn,
Okay. Like
University of
Rock said, I
Cincinnati.
ghosted him, but I'll be back again though. I'll definitely be back in Philly. I'll let y'all know. Yep.
Yeah. But
All right.
yeah, it's good. Thanks for coming on, Clint. I appreciate it.
All right. No problem, man. Yeah.
Yeah, peace out. Um, yeah, guys. So I'm gonna close here. Pete, just tell Rock to reach out, and we can just link up through Rock. Good night, guys. Let's hopefully we're gonna close. We're gonna enter this phase, decisive phase of the season, and progress to the next round. I can't believe we're here. This is amazing. I'm really excited. It's gonna be a super tense game tomorrow. But hopefully we all get to get some good sleep and the players play with their hearts and put on a crazy game tomorrow because we're gonna need everything we can. Um, anything can happen, guys. Let's do this. Forza Milan, guys. Thanks for coming on. Have a good night. Let's do this. Peace out, guys.